Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're back with a snapshot, and this is Snapshot 25w15a. Now one thing to quickly mention, this snapshot is releasing on a Tuesday, and that is because Minecraft have made some changes to when snapshots release. Quickly jump into the patch notes, you can see snapshot on a Tuesday. Yes, from now on we'll be moving all snapshots to the same day as full releases, Tuesday. That means snapshots will now release on Tuesdays rather than Wednesdays. To make sure you keep updated with the new snapshot release day, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future update videos, as I cover snapshots as soon as they release. Now let's cover some of the new things within this snapshot, as this snapshot does introduce the happy Ghast. So the first thing we need to do is head to the Nether, because obviously this is where the dried Ghasts are found. So now we are within the Nether, there is a chance you can find them at these fossils, and we found one right here. So if I quickly just pick up this dried Ghast, there is also another one up here. So let's quickly test breaking these. And it seems like they are insta-break. Okay, that's interesting. You can break them with your fist and they instantly drop. They do not require silk touch or any tool. And just another thing, they do not spawn at every single fossil. As you can see, there is a fossil right here with no dried Ghast. So now the dried Ghast can be placed inside of water to waterlog it. And when doing this, there is a new achievement in this update called Stay Hydrated. And this achievement is found in the Husbandry tab, and you can see it's right here. Now the dried Ghast has different states, so you can see it's directional, so you can place it north, south, east or west. But it also has a hydrated state, which if I quickly just change it, you can see this is what it looks like. There is stage 1, you then have stage 2, and then there is stage 3. After stage 3 it will then hatch. Now one thing to note also is if the block is not within water, it will slowly revert back to its normal state, this one right here. And if you was to break these after they had progressed any stage, they will always revert back to the default state. One thing that is interesting though, the dried Ghasts seem to be destroyed by flowing water. So if you have flowing water, it will be destroyed. And you also cannot place them in flowing water, which is interesting. My guess is that's probably a bug fix that might be fixed in a future snapshot. They do also stack up to 64. And then one other thing that I'm going to mention, they can be crafted with 1 bone block and 8 Ghast tears like so. Now Minecraft have also updated the Ghast texture within this update, so if I quickly just spawn it, this is the new texture. I think they have just made it pixel consistent. Now coming back down to these, because we want these to hatch into a dried Ghast, you can see there are particles and there is also some sound effects that is playing, which you can see in the subtitles. Now the functions for the Ghastling are exactly the same as Bedrock Edition. They will follow any player or adult passive mob, and if there is no adult passive mob or player within the radius, they will just adventure 16 blocks around their home position. And for anyone wondering, there is no spawn egg for the Ghastling, but you can get the Ghastling inside of Java just by clicking a spawn egg on a adult version, which you can see right here. Now you can also once again lure these with snowballs, and you can speed up their growth with snowballs as well. They seem to be a little bit slower than in Bedrock Edition, but this happy Ghast is staring at me, and obviously they take 20 minutes to grow up from a baby to an adult. Now one question I did have from my Bedrock beta video is, do these grow up naturally? And yes, they do. You can speed up the growth with snowballs, but if you just leave them within your world, after about 20 minutes, it will turn into a happy Ghast. Now we are going to quickly just speed up the growth of this one. It takes a lot more snowballs than it does on Bedrock Edition. Now there is also the harnesses on Java. They come in every single color type. So if we was to quickly just craft one, once again, they are crafted exactly the same as Bedrock Edition. 3 leather, 2 glass, and then 1 wool. The wool depends on the color type. But one thing to also note, they can be re-dyed. So if you craft yourself a pink one and then decide you don't want a pink one, you don't have to craft a whole new harness. You can just throw it in a crafting table with yellow dye, and it is now a yellow harness. One thing to note also is they do follow players holding harnesses. So if I hold a harness, this one will come towards me. That one will not, because it is already harnessed. So let's now equip this on and jump on. And you can see the goggles are equipped onto the face when you are riding it. Now, just like in Minecraft Live, these can have 4 players riding them. I currently can't showcase that because I'm in a single player world. But also, one thing to note is you can control them without looking. So when you turn your camera, the Ghast does turn. But as you can see, by holding my forward key, I go forward. By holding my backwards key, I go backwards. By holding my left key, I go left, and by holding my right key, I go right. And by holding my jump key, the Ghast just goes straight up. Now, there is no way to get the Ghast to go straight down, because if you crouch, then you are dismounted. But you can look down, and the Ghast will then just descend downwards. This is really cool controls, and I don't think we have a mob like this, where your movements control where the mob goes. I guess horses are kind of like this, but not with this much control. And once again, when you are standing on top of the Happy Ghast, it will snap north, south, east, or west, and you'll be able to stand on the mob without it moving. Now, one thing to note, you cannot place blocks on the Happy Ghast, as you can see. It won't let you. Now, one thing to also note is the Happy Ghast will roam around its home position. If it has a harness on, it will roam closer to home. If it don't have a harness on, then it can roam a little bit further away from home, as you can see just by looking at these ones. These two are staying closer to this position, where that one is going a lot further away than these two. Now, two more things about the Happy Ghast is the first one, when they are roaming around, they will try to stay close to blocks. That means that you can click on them most of the time on the ground. You don't have to jump or fly up. But there is a chance they can roam higher than the blocks, which you can just lure them with snowballs. Now, if there is a Happy Ghast that has a harness on, you can remove that harness just by clicking shears. So that is all I'm going to cover about the Happy Ghasts. There are quite a lot of other things within this snapshot. There is another new achievement in this update for creakings. So if you have a creaking heart and 2 pale oak logs, there is now an achievement for placing a creaking heart between 2 pale oak logs, which you can see right here. There are a lot of changes to ambient sounds in this update. Ambient sand sounds no longer require sky access to play. Ambient sand sounds now have a slightly decreased chance to play. Terracotta blocks no longer trigger ambient sand sounds. Sand blocks no longer trigger ambient wind sounds. And there is still more. Terracotta blocks no longer trigger ambient wind sounds. Short dry grass and tall dry grass can now trigger ambient wind sounds when above 2 sand, red sand or terracotta. And dead bush sounds now have a slightly increased chance of playing. So it just seems like they've made a lot of changes to the ambient sounds you hear when you are within desert and badlands. And also, don't forget, these sounds can be moved to your base. Now, there are a lot of technical changes within this update as well. If we quickly just have a look, technical changes, resource pack and data pack versions are right there. And just scrolling through, I'm not going to cover these in too much detail, because they are just the basic normal things they do in every snapshot cycle, new tags, and then some changes to item components as well as entity data. But one thing they have added is a new attribute, and this is camera distance. By default, this is set to 4, and this is now a way to modify the player's camera distance. As when you start riding a Happy Ghast, if I was to quickly just run over here and jump on this one, you can see your camera distance is slightly extended when you are within this person. So if I go in these two perspectives, I have a bigger FOV basically. But it's not FOV, it's different, because if I was to quickly just jump back on, and I was to increase my FOV, as you can see, it goes a lot further down than it normally would. Now, the final thing within this snapshot that we are going to mention is a new experiment, and this is the Locator bar. The Locator bar is now within Java Edition. You do need to enable this though. Happy Ghasts and Ghastlings will be enabled by default, so as soon as you make a world within this snapshot, you will have them features. You will not have access to Locator bars unless you turn it on with the experiment. And this is just a bar to show you where players are within multiplayer. So crouching will hide the player, preventing them from appearing, and spectators only appear to other spectators. And it seems like this experiment allows servers to manage waypoints and their connection with players. That's going to be really cool for servers if they make this very customizable and keep expanding upon this feature. But you can see there are some items that change it, so carved pumpkins, skeleton skulls, and basically every mob head, and then also potions of invisibility. There is also a game rule to toggle this, so once you have the experimental toggle enabled, there is then also an additional game rule to enable it on and off. And there is also an attribute as well, which is waypoint transmit range and waypoint receive range. It also seems like there is a waypoint command now, which you can see right here. There's a lot of ways to customize this. But anyway, that is it for this video. That is the Happy Ghast and the Ghastlings. So you can now go and mess around with them in Bedrock and Java. Once again, snapshots will now release on Tuesdays, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And I guess I'll see you guys in another one very soon. Bye!